pleasure for me to invite you all to Oslo and the first ever Oslo pax conference. I strongly welcome this initiative taken by the Nobel Peace Center. I'm especially glad that you have chosen to set climate change on the agenda for the first Oslo pax conference. It fits perfect into Oslo's year as a European green capital. Like most of the cities in the world, Oslo is facing a changing reality, fueled by what I see as the four main drivers for change. The first driver is globalization. Globalization has brought us closer together. It has increased trade and lifted millions out of poverty. Norway has benefited greatly. We export raw materials at high price and buy cheap goods in return. The second driver is urbanization. Half of the world's population now live in cities. Population growth in the Nordic countries is mainly taking place in urban areas. Oslo is no exception. The third driver is digital. New technology changes our markets and our lives. It happens so quickly that we hardly know what tomorrow will look like. Many jobs considered safe today will be lost, while new jobs will emerge. Oslo wants to take a part in this transformation. Climate change is the fourth driver. In the last few years, world leaders have taken ambitious and necessary decisions by adopting landmark agreements, such as UN Sustainable Development Goals and Paris Agreement. I strongly support that to implement the Sustainable Development Goal, but we need faster progress because we live in a special moment. We are the first generation who can see the effects of the climate change and probably the last generation that can do something with it. Combating climate change cannot be left by somewhere else at another time. We need to act here and now. And we who live in cities have a special responsibility to take action. Cities represent 80% of the global economy and 70% of the global energy consumption, which is the biggest cause of greenhouse gas emissions. Cities are obviously a central part of the problem. At the same time, some of the most powerful solutions are also to be found in cities. The role of cities has increased in recent years. Cities are not bound by international diplomacy. We can act, even if state leaders may drag their feet, as they often do. I have to tell you, the same day as we were the European green capital, the President Donald Trump withdrew from the Paris Agreement. And the day after, the mayors all throughout the US, they started an organization called We Are Still In. It means that they are still in to fulfill the obligation from the Paris Agreement. Cities counts. Cities are strong. Cities will be the powerful force in combating climate change. Cities are handling problems close to people, and our citizens expect us to deliver solutions. To reach international climate targets, city leaders must take action. The city of Oslo won the Paris Agreement Capital Award for 2019. I see this as a great acknowledgement from the European Commission. We are ambitious and we aim to lead. Oslo has one of the most ambitious climate strategies with goals in accordance with Paris Agreement. In accordance with Paris Agreement, our goal is to reduce greenhouse gases by 95% by 2030. We are probably the first city in the world to introduce a climate budget, which is closely linked out to the fiscal budget. Everything we do financially is also assessed climate-wise. We reinforce government policy with local measures. The national government has made it cheaper to buy electric vehicles, and Oslo has made it cheap and easy to use. This year, Oslo, more than 2/3 of all new private cars sold are electric vehicles. Oslo is also leading a way towards emission-free construction sites, a big source of emissions in our city, and cities throughout the world is growing. So this is really a challenge that we have to address. Oslo is also strongly a believer in the circular economy, where we act by turning food waste into biogas for the city's buses and waste trucks. And I will mention this. Oslo is also using its purchasing power to enhance the green transition. Oslo buys goods and services for 27 billion Norwegian kroner each year. And we have to use our power. And I say that to the state as well. We can use our power to change the market. If we are willing to do so, it's about courage and political will. Oslo is also in the process of implementing all-time high investments in public transport. Some say it takes courage to make these changes. I would turn it around and say, who dare not to make these changes? Implementing radical change, however, require a broad public support. That is why we want the European Green Capital Year 2019 to be a motivator for citizens' green transformation. I hope this conference will serve the same purpose, to motivate for action on peace and climate change, inspired by the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you and good luck with the conference today.
Dear guests,